get in the car.
Right now.
Reach for the stars, I want it all.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Call Me Old Fashioned, where we talk everything bourbon, whiskey, and of course, old fashions. Today we're going to be diving into the Woodford's Double Double Oak. You guys know, if you've watched this channel at all, that I am a big fan of just the regular Double Oak. Good price, makes great old fashions, tons of great flavors. It's pretty versatile, but the one bottle I've been hunting for over 5 years is going to be the Woodford's Double Double Oak. Now for this bottle in particular, normally it's a distillery only release. They release it somewhere between January 17th and January 27th. It's always a small limited run. They put it in 375 milliliter bottles, and it's like 50 to 60 bucks at the distillery. The only trick is you had to get to the distillery. You know, I had a whole trip planned this year to run up there one day, drive 10 hours up, 10 hours back just to get one. Now this year they released a email saying, hey, it's going to be available in an hour at the distillery. They still had some there, but then they also released it nationwide. On top of that, not only did they basically double the size of the bottle, they put it in 700 milliliters. They also quadrupled the price. So this bottle we did pick up at Costco. I ended up calling up one of my buddies and saying, hey, Costco may or may not have like 4 bottles. He sent his wife. She got in line. There was a line through the entire Costco waiting to get one of these. Luckily, she was second in line. She was able to pick it up. Shout out Caitlin. And we were able to pick it up for $180 at Costco. Now, the question is going to be, is it worth the 4 times X on the price just because there's a little bit extra? Now, you know, it may be double the oak. I don't know if it's worth double the price or quadruple the price in this case. So we're going to dive in, give it a little review. I'll give you my thoughts, and let's go ahead and dive in. The first real test of this bottle is going to be the cork pop. Okay. If we were testing it, it passed, in my opinion. I know that it's about what's inside that matters. Now, I will say, bottle looking, right? I have this whole thing about you got to take the sex appeal of the bottle into consideration. This bottle is part of their like master collection bottle, even though it does say they are finished collection or barrel finish select up at the top. The same bottle they use for the master collections, which I personally love. I have one back here of their batch proof. So let's go ahead and give this one a little pour. I'm kind of nervous. No joke, I've been waiting to try this for over 5 years. This would, like, if I didn't get it this year, it would have been 6 years in a row that I didn't pick it up. I refuse to pay secondary. I mean, if I really had to and it was like in my face, maybe, but I'm not ordering it online, paying $400 for a 375 milliliter bottle. Depending on this, we may change our mind quick. But let's go ahead and give it a little nose test, see what it's working with. This, by the way, is also only the 90.4. Same proof as a regular double oak and basically everything else that Woodford's pumps out. But right off the bat, you're getting the same similarity as the double oak. But I will say you can definitely tell the impact of the oak is a lot higher. I am pretty stoked that that chocolate note that I love about Woodford's double oak so much, the double double has as well. It's not as prominent, not as sweet as I was expecting, but it has a pleasant nose. It's definitely that Woodford's profile to it that you can just kind of tell. Now, if I had to start picking out some notes, as much as the nose is very pleasant and approachable, I'm going to go ahead and start with saying it's definitely got a little subtlety as far as the chocolate note. It's got this like sweetness, but it's not like the typical caramel. I'm going to say it's almost like a maple syrup, brown sugar vibe to it. Really pleasant and approachable as far as like the sweetness level comes. But it does have like this nice little spice, and I think that might be coming from like the oak. It's like maybe like a bitter oak, like maybe like hickory or something like that. Along those lines, it's really, really pleasant on the nose. So far, I'm not disappointed. The real question is how does it taste? So let's go ahead and dive in and see what the palate's working with. Okay. Everybody always says that first sip just kind of warms your palate up. The second sip is what you grade. Just going for the second. I got goosebumps. Can you see it? Can anybody see it? That Ooh, you get this nice little tingle to it. Man, first thing I'm gonna say, I'm really stoked that it has this like sexy silk milk chocolate vibe to it. That chocolate note that it's always been in the Woodford Double Oak that I made it for the reason why I love it so much. It's got it, right? Check mark one for me. But I'm gonna say it does have like this nice like bright fruit note to it as well. I'm gonna go like old fashioned cherries, right? Like, you know, like when you put a cherry in old fashioned, that's kind of what the vibe's coming from. I may also pick up like a strawberry-ish, cranberry-ish note. The oak is good. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be like 4 times as much oak. I'm gonna say it does have like a smoother oak feel than the double oak. Not by much, we're not talking drastic, but you can tell it has a higher impact to it, but nothing too crazy. That butterscotch comes through pretty well. It's got a little, not a ton of spice. There's definitely more like a desserty vibe to it, but it does have this nice little baking spice, you know, cinnamon vibe to the back end and the finish. If we're talking about how long finish, we're probably thinking maybe like small to medium. It's not anything too crazy. Obviously, you're talking about a 90.4 proof bottle, but overall, the notes that are coming through are pretty magical. I think just because, right? I mean, you got to do 2 pours. You got to try it twice. You talked me into it. You talked me into it. Let's go ahead and do a second pour. Nothing too high. Just get a little extra sip going. Man, a lot of the notes from the nose translate super well to the palate. Palate notes, if we're going to start listing them off, is going to be that chocolate note, like a milk silk chocolate, right? Like silky smooth milk chocolate, but not like overly sweet though. Right, I'm gonna go with old-fashioned cherries as like a solid note. It's definitely a cherry, but it's not like the typical like medicinal style cherry. It's definitely got that like class feel to it. I'm gonna categorize that as an old-fashioned cherry. As far as the sweetness level goes, the more it kind of sits on my palate, I definitely am thinking it's maple syrup. I'm getting like maple syrup vibes to it because it feels like chocolate chip pancakes, right? That's a weird way to describe that. But that chocolate note, the maple syrup note, it kind of feels like a chocolate chip pancake. But it also has this nice little sweetness to it, or spiciness to it, I mean. And I'm gonna guess it's cinnamon. I can't really pick it out, but it's got this little back end spice to it. So we're gonna put cinnamon on the board. Very minimal amount of vanilla, but it's there. And then I'm gonna say like a fruit note's gotta be something in the realm of like strawberry, cranberry, maybe a little like blackberry. Yeah, I mean, I'm getting a lot of breakfast notes on it. I was gonna say like strawberry jelly. You know what I mean? Like a little jelly-filled donut. Maybe I'm hungry for breakfast, who knows? But this is delicious. Is it worth the hype? I'm gonna say it's pretty much up there. Is it worth 180 something bucks? Probably not, right? I'm gonna say it's not light years ahead of the Double Double Oak. It's really good. And if you don't have one and you can find it, absolutely, MSRP, pick it up. Why not? If you can find like one of the older years, get a cheaper size bottle, it might be even more worth it. You got to really be a good, fanboy in a sense of Woodfords in general to be able to say this is worth the pickup, because it's good. Me personally, I don't really think many bottles are worth this much price. But for someone like me that's been hunting it for over 5 years, I honestly didn't care what the price was. I was getting it regardless. But I think it's definitely worth a pickup. It's definitely worth a try. I definitely would recommend if your friend has one, nag them, let you get a little pour for it. But at the end of the day, I think this is one of those things where it's more like, let's collect them all, right? We're out here playing Pokemon, I guess. I would pick it up again. But I've been a fan of the Double Oak for so long that I want to see the other expressions. I may have to go on a hunt just to find the 2018, the 2019, the 2020, and just kind of go hunt all of these and see if there's a wide range of difference. Because the difference between this one and the other years is they made a lot more. So I wonder how much of the difference. Now, if Woodford's was watching this and say, hey, I really want to know his advice on what to do, make next year's a higher proof. Make it 100 proof. I'm not asking for anything crazy. But if they come out with like a batch proof Woodford's Double Double Oak, you'll see me heading for the hills. I'm finding that thing. But again, at the end of the day, recommend it, yes. Do I think you should spend 180 bucks on it? No. But if you have the money, you have the budget, it's a cool bottle to have on the shelf. It has a cool story to it. I think the juice is really good. But at the end of the day, you could buy 4 of these. That might be more worth it. So let me know your thoughts down below. Did you pick this bottle up? Are you still looking for it? Do you have one of the other years? And at the end of the day, are you going to spend 180 bucks on a Woodford's Double Double Oak? Again, if you haven't already, like, subscribe. We are on the road to 2,000 subs as we speak. But I will see you guys on the other side. Peace.
Right now.
Tell me who you are, get in the car.
Right now.
Reach for the stars, I want it all.
Right now.
Tell me who you are, get in the car.
Right now.
Reach for the stars, I want it all.